What's good, everybody? So we are back, and tonight we're going to talk about the Mortal Kombat movies leading into the new one that's coming out this Thursday, May 7th. This is just us talking about, Mortal Kombat, how much we love the franchise, the video games, you know, just growing up with the movies, the TV shows, the live action show, and top of the web series, and the last movie that came out as well. And just go into how much we love Mortal Kombat and how we can't wait for this one to come out this Thursday, and we're pumped. Um, if you're new to the channel, please click like and subscribe. Appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, I remember the first time I got into playing Mortal Kombat. I think it was obviously the early '90s. I think the first game came out, but I really didn't get into it until the second game came out, where it had all the most more new characters, and it was just one of those games that just kind of connected with the audience, whether it's the violence, the blood, the stuff you never saw in a video game before that they were doing, the fatalities and things like that. So the things from those games, and then spinning out to the '95 Mortal Kombat movie. Um, wow, '95 movie to me is still one of the best video game movies of all time, best live action adaptation. I'm sure there's some people can probably debate on things like that, but for me, this was like the first video game movie that really like boom, like hit everybody. And the music itself was just, it's still a classic. I mean, they're using it for the
Yep.
for the second movie coming out, for the new franchise.
Which I'm glad.
So that music is, it's always going to be Insomnia's, connected to Mortal Kombat when you think Mortal Kombat. And over 30 years, Mortal Kombat has just continued to grow, and we keep seeing these characters, whether it's being rebirth or reboot or whatever. Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 11. That franchise is going to continue to grow and just continue to be a big phenomenon. I'm glad we're getting a second movie after the criticism of the first movie with fucking Cole Young.
Not anymore. You're about to go bye-bye.
But yeah, let's talk about the '95 movie first, and then we'll kind of work our way to get into Mortal Kombat 2. I mean, my like I said, '95 to me, that Mortal Kombat movie was just
that was a good film. Yeah.
You didn't see it coming. You didn't expect this movie to just give you the things you like. I love martial arts, I love action, love good music, and those three things were in there, including having a good story. It wasn't a big, wasn't like a great story, but it gave you a story that told you some elements of Mortal Kombat 1 that focused on Liu Kang and Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade. Those were like your three main characters they focused on, just like in the first game. And you had Raiden, you had Shang Tsung being the big villain, the introduction of Scorpion and Sub-Zero and Kano. Everything they did with that movie for a '95 movie that came out 31 years ago is it's still a big cultural, it's still a big impact movie, despite how it aged. The performances were all great. Robin Shaw became a big hit with the fans. I mean, I remember him at one point was being fan cast to play Goku at some point when people wanted Dragon Ball Z or a Dragon Ball live action movie.
Yeah.
He really embodied Liu Kang and what they were looking for that character, and I really like that it centered around him and his journey to fight Shang Tsung to avenge his brother and things like that. And just, he would be a skeptic in the beginning. He didn't believe in all that crap with Raiden being the Thunder God and all these other things that were going around. He just refused to believe this was all true. This is all BS. But then once he kind of slowly saw what was going on, when he got to other realms and other things that's going on, he started realizing, like, holy shit, this is real. Like, we are in a battle for, to save Earth and to save mortals, to save everything against, so
they really caught the characters too in the first Mortal Kombat. It actually, how that character played Liu Kang, he did a stunning job with it, including like Johnny Cage and like you look at also like Shang.
The guy who played Johnny Cage, Lyndon Ashby. I mean, to this day, fans really loved him as Johnny Cage. To me, I feel like that movie made Johnny Cage, just a big fan favorite because of his performance. He was very charismatic. He was egoistic asshole and little things that they took from that movie into the video games going forward. I mean, because a lot of things that he did just really impacted fans, made you care about Johnny Cage and cared about.
True.
He's a douchebag, but there's a belief and a representation about him. Obviously, Johnny Cage was inspired by Jean-Claude Van Damme, but Lyndon Ashby really was very charismatic in that movie and brought some of the comedy that really helped the movie to be even be to help the movie be what it was today. And then I got to throw in Bridget Wilson, who plays Sonya Blade. She's best known for the Billy Madison movie, playing the teacher and stuff. But she was
Yeah.
another character, another actress who really embodied Sonya Blade. All three of them, three actors, Rob Michelle, Lyndon, and Bridget, all really connected. They're very charismatic. There's chemistry. I also put in, I'll say, Chelsea Soto, who played Katana.
She
Um,
done a great
her
job
chemistry
in
with
her
Robert
role.
Shaw was really good in both movies. Christopher Lambert, Highlander himself, you got to, he's another one that was really good in this movie too. I mean, the
Yeah,
performance,
he pulls off Raven like a really great job with that. Yeah.
yeah, the performances were just very good, and there's a lot of memorable scenes in that movie. I mean, some memorable quotes and things like that. And I gotta say, Mr. Shang Tsung himself. If I probably have a hard time pronouncing his name, but I'll say Cary Yuki Tagawa, who passed away a few years ago. He was very charismatic as Shang Tsung. I think he showed up again in the Legacy web series as Shang
Yeah, he
Tsung.
showed up in Mortal Kombat Legacy. Yeah, he did.
As a
Yeah.
quick cameo, quick appearance, which was pretty cool. Because again, these are like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters, 6 actors who really, embody these characters. And shout out to Paul Anderson, who obviously directed a lot of the Resident Evil movies, but um, the casting and the casting decisions for these characters were spot on. I think
Yeah.
that also really helped the movie become a success. I mean, the budget for this movie was like 20 million, and it made 122.2 million worldwide. And that was
That's
a
true.
huge hit. And
Well, that's exactly why
yeah.
we were very excited for the sequel. We honestly were at the end.
But yeah, but Digital, tell me about your thoughts on the first movie. I mean, I didn't really hear
Oh, I
your
still
stuff,
love
like
the
what you
first
loved about the
movie,
movie.
and honestly, I still want to pick it up on 4K. I still want to do that, even though it comes with the terrible Mortal Kombat, Annihilation, But the first one to me is absolutely like a good Mortal Kombat film. They actually did pull it off,
Yeah,
despite it was PG-13, but the character development was there. There was a lot of cool martial arts, and
yeah,
it moved very. The pacing was very well done, and how it flowed, and how
right.
the characters were there, and you even got Scorpion and Sub-Zero, which was cool and everything.
I mean, even the Sub-Zero, like him using the ice and stuff like that, they did
Yes.
for that small time, for that time period. It was pretty impressive that they were able to make ice and made you believe that was someone shooting ice and stuff like that. And
Yep.
even Scorpion with his finishing move and stuff like that. That's the thing about that movie was also key, is that they gave you some of the stuff you saw in the video games, like Liu Kang's bicycle kick
Yep.
towards
Yeah.
Reptile, shooting the fire at Shang Tsung, Johnny Cage doing the shadow kick, and then punching Goro in the nuts, which today that's one of my favorite scenes in that movie, is him punching him straight in the balls.
True.
There's this big massive guy. How are you gonna stop him? He just killed your friend. Bam. The biggest weak point for every guy, punching in the nuts. Obviously his hand hurt out.
He's like, let's dance. Yeah, right there. Yeah, I love that scene.
I mean, that scene was awesome. Even the part where he tells him that was a $200-$300 sunglasses you broke, you asshole. Like, that was another fun liner as well. I mean, there's a lot of good one-liners in that movie.
I think how, honestly, and how they actually pulled it off was really good. Even when they showed when we got to see Reptile, that was very well done too.
Oh yeah, Reptile was pretty cool in this movie. My favorite fight scene, I'm gonna look back at, is a toss-up between Scorpion versus Johnny Cage and Sonya Blade versus.
That's the one I like. Yeah.
Yeah, and Sonya Blade versus oh my god, why am I blanking his name? Kano.
Kano, yeah. It's Kano versus Sonya
him
Blade.
and Kano.
That was very well.
Yeah. Even though we know he killed her partner, but we know she wanted vengeance from this guy. And Shang Tsung, had a very interest in her, probably romantically or in some other stuff that he wanted with her.
Yeah, that's true.
While doing Shao Kahn's bidding, but that fight between her and Kano was pretty cool. I love the fight between Johnny Cage and Scorpion. That's one of my favorite fights. And I just love the scene at the very end where you see a photo of Johnny Cage and a signature and from Johnny Cage. It was kind of like a comedy moment, which I'm like, oh, that's such a Johnny Cage thing. That was another favorite thing. One of my favorite stuff about that scene. and to see him running around from the Scorpion and Johnny Scorpion using his whole, one line. I was like, get over here, come here, things like that. That
Yeah,
that
which I
we're
loved.
familiar
Yeah,
with
and even
the
though we got to
character.
see even though like we did get to see a fatality, what Johnny Cage did to Scorpion. Yeah, you
Yeah,
know.
he cut his head off and everything, which was pretty cool. And
Yeah.
um, correct me if I'm wrong. Was that the first time we heard "Get Over Here" and anything, or was
No,
that
we
because
heard it.
the video games? Because the video games, I don't think the video games had it too. I gotta remember. I
The
don't
video
remember.
games did add it to it. I remember like it
Was it
was a
in
cheat code.
was it in
Get
part one or
over
part
here.
two?
It was part one where you got to add the blood in it. If you actually put the code in, but get over here.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, because it was such a
Yeah.
long. I couldn't remember if it came from the movie or the game. But that's what made the movie work. It's like they added stuff, but from the video games that really made the fans love this movie. It's little
Yep.
small little details, and then top it off, the actors playing these characters made you believe they were Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, Raiden, Shang Tsung, Kano, even the guys who
Mhm.
played Scorpion, Sub Zero. Like, even though they didn't talk, they made you believe they are who they were. And I don't think Scorpion and Sub Zero had much of a story to be told at that time. I don't think their story was told
True.
too much later in the video games, but
Yeah.
I think it's changed too over time, where
It
Scorpion is
has.
more of a good guy now, and they kind of put in more stuff in there between their history,
No,
which is pretty cool. It gives you more character depth,
it does.
which they used for the last movie that came out to a certain degree. But we'll talk about Mortal Kombat, the new one, Mortal Kombat 21, probably later. But anything else you want to add about this movie? Because we're just kind of
Well, I mean, like honestly, the film is fun to watch. I would
yeah.
say watch this and then, you know, I'll be real with y'all right now, and then watch the Mortal Kombat animated movies. We're gonna get to Annihilation soon because I'm just gonna
Yeah,
destroy
but
it.
the other thing I got to say about why Mortal Kombat the '95 one was very successful is that back in the '90s there were so many ninja movies, so many martial arts
Yep,
movies going around. Like, yeah, Beverly Hills Ninja, which Robin
Three
Show
Ninjas,
starred in, Three
Three Ninjas too.
Ninjas, Surf
Yeah,
Ninjas, Ninja Turtles. I mean, there were so many things with ninja in the title.
yep,
Um, so it made sense for them to do a Mortal Kombat movie because there was just a lot of action and martial arts and a lot of movies. Double Dragon was out at that time. I mean, there were so many different things that Hollywood was really they're really invested with martial arts and ninja movies, and we got a lot of those back in the '90s. And Mortal Kombat again was just at a point where it came in the right time and was very successful. The movie, um, you know, and obviously the first movie ends on somewhat of a cliffhanger where you had I think Shao Kahn or someone playing a Shao Kahn, where you have Raid at the end saying I don't think so, and then you have the characters getting ready to fight.
yeah. And we were so excited for
Yeah,
that because like we already knew it
because
was Shao Kahn, and they made him look badass at the end of the first movie. I'm like, oh my god, I cannot wait for the sequel.
yeah, because
And,
you have Shao Kahn invading Earthrealm, which he was
yeah,
supposed to do. He broke the rules,
yep,
because they lost Mortal Kombat. Because if you know the story, Mortal, if they didn't beat Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat, they would have Outer World would have took over Earthrealm.
yep,
Because they've lost so many times where it's that they're at the point where like they lose one more time. So once Liu Kang, who's now basically Mortal Kombat champion against Shang Tsung at the time, Shao Kahn in the video games, broke the rules and invaded Earthrealm, which just like in the video games in
true,
Mortal Kombat
facts,
2,
yeah,
which we're all excited for because we want to see other characters that they introduced in Mortal Kombat 2, like Jade, like Brock, Jade, Jax, Sindel, all these other characters that they introduce much later.
yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't. What sucks is like they didn't take their time with it. Also, Paul Anderson never came back to direct the movie.
We're already getting to Annihilation. Oh shit, here we go.
Yeah, looking into Annihilation a little bit now. So for Annihilation, obviously they wanted another movie right away because that movie was such a big hit, especially for New Line Cinema, who again, New Line Cinema was still a big deal back then. And you know, they New Line hired a new director and a new writer to write Mortal Kombat Annihilation. And this movie, obviously, despite expectations and excitement for the movie, it ended up
Yeah,
not being what fans were
it was
hoping it to
just, it
be.
was just so, it was just so terrible. Like, I think the best scene is where me and my friends we were watching it, And like right when he heard the Mortal Kombat theme song, everybody was cheering and everything. Everyone was so excited, and it was shown when at the previous movie. I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's go, let's go. Everyone was so excited, and I'm like, yeah, let's go. And then when you saw the characters, you're like, what the fuck's going on
Well,
here?
here's the thing. I didn't see it in the theaters. I didn't even know they did an Annihilation movie until someone pointed out in the video store, which I was like, oh, shoot, they made
Oh,
another one. Why didn't I hear about it?
it was
Now I know why I didn't hear about it in theaters because this was a
no,
movie.
they announced it. They announced it on TV and everything. I remember because my mom,
You probably did. I don't remember
yeah,
seeing stuff like that.
my
I'll
mom took
still, yeah.
my yeah, because my mom took me up, dropped me with my friends. We went to go see it. It was like, yo, we were all me and my friends, we were watching it and we were like so excited and pumped. And then when we got to the like when we got to like less than 2 minutes in, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh god, this movie's terrible. I'm like, yo, I love Power Rangers, but this is not supposed to be Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's supposed to be Mortal Kombat. I was getting
Yeah, well, yeah. The other thing, this movie had this had a $30 million budget compared to the first one where it had 20.
yeah,
Um, the issue with this movie is that they added a lot of characters. The story was not that great, and I know a lot of people were not happy they killed off Johnny Cage in the first 5 minutes of the movie. Which Johnny Cage was like he ended up being a big fan favorite in the first movie. But before we get to that, they didn't. The only people who came back for this movie was just Robin Shaw, Talisa Soto, who played Liu Kang and Katana. Everybody else was just brand new. They didn't bring back Bridget. They didn't bring back Lyndon Ashby to play the characters. They just brought a whole new cast,
yep,
which sucked because I think that fans wanted the three of them because they just had great chemistry, and
yeah,
obviously we got something different. I was excited because they had Sub Zero Junior or Sub Zero's brother because we had promos of the Sub Zero Scorpion fight with the two of them. You're like, oh shoot, that's cool. And they
yeah.
brought in Rain, they brought in Melina, they brought in Smoke, Armrak, Mataro, Cyrax,
Oh,
Nude Sabot.
also the other dude too. Like he didn't get that much screen time at all. I remember
Yeah,
he's begging. He's like,
Jiva was another one, and Nightwolf popped up too. It was like, oh shoot,
Nightwolf didn't really get
yeah.
that much time to be perfectly
But
honest.
the guy who played Nightwolf looked like Nightwolf, and that was
He
pretty cool.
did. He did. That's what I thought. I was like excited for that.
Yeah.
Even so, I would say the only thing I liked about the film is Jade. I didn't give nothing else. It's just a terrible film. Like, honestly, I can see what they were trying to do with it. And I always used to think, right, when that movie came out, because before then, we had a Mortal Kombat animated series called Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm. You know?
Yeah, what sucks, this movie was number one in the box office opening weekend.
Yeah.
This came out 97?
Yes.
So yeah, this came out. Unfortunately, 97 was not a good year for superhero movies either. You have Batman and Robin that came out that year too.
I forget that in my mind.
So at that time, I mean, a lot of people were just trying to, make chicken, trying to throw something together to give you a movie because of how big of a hit the first one was, and they didn't spend time trying to put something together.
Yeah.
Look, I thought Robin Shaw was the positive of this movie was I thought Robin Shaw was okay. I thought the Telso played Katana was just okay. I like Scorpion's look in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the Sub-Zero Junior character, the actor who played him. I'm like, oh, okay, this is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Problem with this movie, you did nothing with these characters. I mean, they're just there. There's a couple of fight scenes. I mean, this movie felt more Raiden and Shao Kahn, like a whole family feud thing between the two of them.
Right.
That's what they try to make this out to be. And it just didn't work.
No, really. I mean, honestly, yeah.
It was in the middle of a whole thing where you just didn't know what was going on. You just see our characters kind of surrounded by a bunch of ninjas.
You honestly didn't know what they were doing, and I'm honestly thinking they got their idea from Mortal Kombat 3. I know that for a fact, but I do believe, and I honestly.
Well, here's the thing: they took a combination of 2 and 3 together. That was the problem.
Yeah, but I do believe.
They wanted to give you both movies. They wanted to give you both stories in one, and that's why you had so many characters, and they're just trying to do too much.
No, I get that, but I honestly believe, and 85% chance I will say it. Yeah, I believe like they know that kids were watching Mortal Kombat Defenders of the Realm on USA. I think they honestly do know that.
When did Defenders of the Realm came out? Did that came out in 97 or did that came out?
I think it came out either 95 or 96, I believe, right after the first Mortal Kombat movie.
Let me check it up right now.
Yep. The thing is, like, I don't know, man. Like,
So yeah, it came out in '96. It was
okay,
after
there we go.
1 year
Yeah.
after the first movie came out.
Yep.
Which I liked the cartoon. It was a pretty cool cartoon.
Yeah.
It had all your favorite characters. It was
No, it was fun and decent, but I feel like when they
yeah.
got their ideas from that a little bit, you know.
What was it? Well, the thing is, the show was only one season, 13
It
episodes. It
is.
didn't have anything more than that. It was kind of
Yeah.
it was kind of testing the waters, and I think again USA and a lot of these networks even now are the same
Yep.
mindset where they were just very careful with what they wanted to put out there.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I did like the Scorpion Sub-Zero story they had going on. I did like
Yep.
the idea of Earth Realm, whether or not should they trust Sub-Zero Junior because of what happened to Sub-Zero, because they did try to connect it to the first movie because it did
Yeah.
show the part where Liu Kang killed Sub-Zero and
Yep.
this whole thing between Liu Kang and
No,
Sub-Zero
facts.
Junior and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But you're right, they took a lot of that stuff, took some of those elements in the video games too, with
Yeah.
Annihilation.
I honestly
What
thought
sucks, it
they
just didn't work. It just you
No,
brought
it,
in a
it
lot of
just doesn't.
yeah.
Like, and not bringing back the same director is a huge red flag right there. You know,
Not
like
bringing back the same director, not bringing back the same writer, not bringing back the two actors who played Johnny and Sonya.
yeah,
Um,
very, yeah,
and the story is just all over the place. You just saw Liu Kang go on a certain journey where he just kind of come across Night Wolf. He comes across Jade, who he
yeah,
thought is an ally. Then he learned that she wasn't an ally. She was against. She was just infiltrating.
infiltrating, gathering up information
Yeah,
from him. Yeah,
Melina was in there too, but I just don't remember too much of Melina. I think it was just her and Katana. They had their own thing going on.
Yeah, they were.
You had
It was
Sonya
very,
and Jax. It was like a whole like 3 or 4 things going on in this movie, but you just didn't have enough to really develop any of these characters or where
yeah,
they've been after the first movie. It was just kind of like a hit and run. Like Johnny Cage is dead. Sean Connery killed him. Now we got to move and run away because we're gonna, we got the game plan now. We just lost, but how did you
yeah.
just lose?
But
It
even
was just
even in the beginning, where it's like you couldn't even bring back, the person that did a good job, Raiden, the one that played that for Highlander, and like, oh, you didn't bring back the same actor, and I'm like, what the hell,
Yeah,
bro?
Christopher Lambert was phenomenal. And don't get me wrong, I like James Remar who played Raiden. I like the actor. I mean, I'm a big fan of Dexter, and I'm a big fan of other stuff
Yeah,
he was in. But I mean, he was not. You know, he
no,
played a character. He was given money. He was paid to play a role, and he played the role to how they wanted him to play him. And Raiden kind of abandoned a lot of the stuff that made him Raiden, which you're just kind of like to give him this whole new look, where you're like, what the fuck? Like you just what?
yeah. He's like,
No,
oh, now I'm one of you, and now I'm a human. I can fight in a tournament with you, and I'm just like, oh my god.
Yeah, then you have an actor, Brian Thompson, who plays Shao Kahn, who I didn't know much back then about. He overact playing Shao Kahn, and he just, again, you should have had a wrestler play Shao Kahn,
Yeah,
which I think that's what they're doing with the new Mortal Kombat movies coming out a couple of
yeah,
days,
facts.
where I think they cast a wrestler or somebody who's just really big and believable to play Shao Kahn.
Yep.
I also like the actress who played Sindel. I thought she looked like Sindel. Um, again, she just didn't really have much to go on. Mataro I thought looked kind of cool. I thought, like I said, some of these, some of the characters they brought in, I thought some of them looked kind of cool. They just did nothing with them.
No, they didn't. I forgot.
You know,
Remember, like there was one character. I forgot the name of it. He's purple, right? And I know one of those characters. I believe it's in Mortal Kombat 3, isn't? And like they used him, and I'm like, you never saw him again. Where he's like, "This will never happen again. It will never happen again."
I
And
think that was Amrak or Rain,
oh
one of
yeah,
those two.
okay.
Yeah, it
If
was one of
that's
those two.
Armrak right there, right? You just saw
'Cause
him like once, and he got thrown in the fire. Like Shao Kahn just took a big hammer, hit him with it, and then he like literally landed in the fire and died. And I'm just like, wow, bro, it's just
I just don't remember because they didn't really tell you who that was. But
yeah,
they did have Rain and Armrak in there because later on you see another character that kind of looks like Armrak or Rain. I think Rain.
yeah,
It was just weird because I think Rain Armrak was the one that was thrown in the fire because Rain had
yeah,
a violet, dark purple look to him, where Armrak I think had the red. I just don't remember because it was very confusing with who's who. Because the
no,
thing is, when they brought Scorpion in, when they brought these other two, Rain and Armrak, they both all looked the same with just different colors. And then you had I do think Cyrex is pretty cool too. I like the stuff where you had Cyrex going after Jackson, Sonya Blade. I thought that was pretty cool.
yeah.
Um,
I thought that was okay.
where they try to
Thing
give Sonya her little like
I would
moment or
say,
something.
no, I would say I hate this. I hate this from the death. It's the worst
It
Mortal
was
Kombat
just,
movie.
a tough watch to get through. It's not
Yeah,
It's one of these movies now. If you go back and watch, you're just gonna be like shaking your head, going, "What the fuck were they thinking?" Or "What were
Listen,
they
you know, there's
smoking?"
only two. There's only two things good
You
about
know.
this film, and I'll say it: the theme song in the beginning, and of course, Jade, and I guess Sindel. Everything else, f this film. I don't care about it.
Jid was okay. Sindel was okay. I mean, again,
Yeah,
like
that's
the
it.
guy who
Yeah,
played Nightwolf, I thought looked pretty cool. He looked like Nightwolf. I did like Scorpion. Like I said, I did like Scorpion's look. I like the this actor that
it
plays
didn't
Sub
last
Zero.
very long. The
He
fight.
looked pretty cool, but again, they
It
just
didn't
didn't really
even
do
last
anything.
very long.
They just didn't do anything with these
No,
characters.
they didn't. When they
You
showed
know.
Scorpion what he looked like, oh, that's so cool. And then like it didn't even last that long. And then Scorpion like tricks him like, I got katana suckers. And then he's just like you have Liu Kang screaming like katana. Oh, without katana we lose. And I'm just like, F this movie, bro. F this film, dude.
Yeah.
No.
Then you had Shinnok in the movie too, which you didn't know there was Shinnok.
Even so, I was just like, just stop because this
Yeah,
film
because
is
Shinnok played kind of like the dad role between
yeah.
Raiden and Shao Kahn, which you're like, what the
Yep.
hell? I forgot about him in that movie too. Like, you didn't know it was Shinnok. You're like, what the? Who's this? And
They
then
fucked up. They fucked up.
again, this movie was more about a family feud of Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat. It wasn't really about Liu Kang or how they, you know, or how they did the first movie. This one was just really like all over the place. It just didn't. There's
It
just
didn't
no
work.
time to really figure out how to write a story.
No, that's the thing. And even so, like what after this, they went to Mortal Kombat Conquest, right? Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I can say that this movie was very ambitious. It tried to do things. Um, it just didn't work.
yeah. And then
You
they
know,
made
and CGI was just coming out too, and CGI you could just tell that CGI was so wonky and just like you could see right through it. This wasn't a finished movie.
and the close ups they were doing did not help your film. Like, just stop it with the close-ups, please.
Especially the CGI when Liu Kang turns to a dragon. You're just like, what the
Oh
fuck?
god, that
That's a
was just
dragon?
awful. That
You
was
know, the
awful.
transformation and this stuff. I was like, ooh, like again, because CGI was now coming out for movies and they were trying to hype it up back in the day. This movie it just didn't work
Nope.
at all. You know. Um, but yeah, let's
And of course, Mortal
do we have
Kombat Conquest, the TV series that
yeah,
came.
we can get into Conquest now. I mean, I feel like we've kind of said enough about Annihilation. There's just nothing good about that movie, period.
That movie's just a zero. It's not. You
Yeah,
shouldn't even do it.
as a fan, as a kid back then, I was like really excited. Really excited to see the movie when it was in video stores. That's right, we have video stores back in the day.
Yeah.
It just watching that movie for the first time, I'm just like, as a kid, going like, this makes no sense. Like, this is nothing what I thought this movie was going to be because they did a good job marketing this movie with the trailers,
Yeah.
like with Batman and Robin. You didn't
Yeah.
know what this movie really was until you saw the movie. They just
Facts.
gave you shots of like the characters from the video games, and they knew what worked and what to hide from the fans. With
Yeah.
this movie,
That's the thing.
you know, they showed you a lot of action. They showed you Sub Zero, Scorpion. They showed you things that fans wanted to see. But when you saw the movie, you just didn't get much Scorpion. Sub Zero's there for a few seconds and he's gone.
Yep.
You know, but yeah, let's talk about Conquest. Conquest, it was I guess you could say, as a prequel to the Mortal Kombat '95 movie.
Yeah, it was mediocre.
They tried to make it feel like it's in that realm. This one, they introduced Kung Lao in the movie, on the show, excuse me. So,
Yes, they did at Kung
yeah.
Lao in the TV series. They did. Yes.
But it's not Kung Lao that we all knew with the hat and all the cool stuff. It was just kind of like a Liu Kang type character, just in a different time period with Raiden working with these, with with Kung Lao and a couple of new characters that's never been in the video games before.
You could tell they wanted to make it like a lot different when it was like a TV like series. It was like a watered down Mortal Kombat version. You
Well,
just,
here's the thing. Back in those days in 98, 99, the biggest hit shows
yeah,
was Hercules and Xena. And
correct.
back then,
Yeah, that's exactly
everybody
what they
wanted
to
to
do with
make
it.
like
Yeah.
a period piece with like cool action characters doing
Yep.
action things. And, this kind of felt with what they were looking for. It was on TNT back in the day because I remember promotions for it. I remember seeing a lot of the episodes as a kid. And again,
Yeah.
like being a fan of Mortal Kombat, I was going to check it out. And I watched a lot of the episodes. I enjoyed the show for what it was. I
Right.
like that we got Scorpion, Sub Zero again. I like how they looked like the characters looked like in the first movie. I will add that Eva Mendes played a character in this show. So the show had a lot of sex appeal to it. A lot of the actresses who played specific characters. There was definitely a lot of sex appeal in these kind of shows, like Xena Hercules, where like it's a period piece, but they gave you some kind of middle age,
like that,
sex appeal type thing. I mean, this show, again, they did a good job making the tone feel like the '95 Mortal Kombat. You had a couple of things going on. Scorpion was featured a lot in there. I think Melina made an appearance in there. Katana, I think, made a cameo. Reptile made a cameo. So Noob Saibot made a cameo. Quan Chi, I think, made a big cameo, I think, towards the very end.
Right.
Of the show. I think it was only one season.
Mm-hmm.
One season, 22 episodes. I think the show ended on a cliffhanger, if I remember, because it was canceled after one season. The show didn't last that long.
Yeah, it didn't. Yeah, it did end it with a cliffhanger. And then we had what was that thing called?
Yeah, it was on. I'm trying to remember what else was in the show, because there was some good action scenes, some good mystery.
Scorpion was in the show, but it was a different story. How they
well, it's the same actor who played Scorpion in the '95 movie, Chris Massa, who was really, he's a hell of a stunt man and a stunt person, martial artist. I think we got a lot of Quan Chi in the show too. Quan Chi was a big.
We did get
big thing. I think Quan. This is the first time we saw Quan Chi in anything. I think. Who else was the other one we saw more of? If I remember.
Yep.
I don't remember who else in the show that's from the games. There's a lot of unknown actors in the show. I mean, obviously Kung Lao being the main character, Shang Tsung. Actor Jeffrey Meek played both Raiden and Shao Kahn in the show, which I didn't even know he played both. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
So, they were still keeping up brothers, Raiden, Shao Kahn, demigods stuff, like in the Annihilation movie. But yeah, the show really ended in I guess you could say in a cliffhanger, because it ended with Kung Lao, I think, losing to Shang Tsung, just like in the '95 movie. Even though Kung Lao in the '95, I think, was set up to be Liu Kang's brother.
Yeah.
Where this was just Kung Lao losing to Shang Tsung.
Yeah.
I think this is supposed to tie into the '95 movie in some way, which you can make the case it did, but there's just so much to talk about the show. The Conquest show is this is what you got with Mortal Kombat back in those days. When you have different people coming in here who have an idea and want to do things with the characters and add their own wrinkle to it, that's what you kind of get. But I like the show. It was disappointing that it ended in a cliffhanger, or it ended where Kung Lao dies, or not dies, but just loses. I want to say he dies. He just loses, and the show ends. That I can remember.
Right. That was Do you have
anything else you want to add about Conquest?
Like I said, it was mid. I think I can't remember the other Mortal Kombat, but I'll say this for now. Before we get into Legacy, I was going to mention this one before Legacy. It was on YouTube, and it was
I know which one you talk about, the fan trailer we got with it was an interrogation scene where this guy was like a Baraka or something, and they kind of brought realism and go ahead, man. Sorry about that. I'll let you talk about it.
Sorry, I'll double check the name because I can't remember it, but I do.
So it was really cool, which got fans talking about Mortal Kombat again, because Mortal Kombat, after Conquest, after Annihilation, Mortal Kombat was just in the video games. You didn't really have anything else Mortal Kombat for about 10 years.
No, facts.
Annihilation kind of made everybody feel like we don't want to touch Mortal Kombat for a while. Facts. Just like with Batman and Robin, people just didn't want to touch Batman for at least 7-8 years till Begins comes out. Where Mortal Kombat, no one touched that for at least a decade, which I think was in 2009, 2010. With that quick trailer on YouTube that got people talking. Excuse me.
Okay, now I remember what it was called. It was called Mortal Kombat Legacy Rebirth.
Yeah, this is before the Legacy web series, but it got people talking about Mortal Kombat. People want to see more of what they were doing. Did they tease Sub-Zero? They teased a couple of characters.
Yeah, they teased right? They teased also Scorpion was in it too. Jax, Sonya, Reptile too. Very
they disfigured Reptile. Yeah. Yep. And mind you, the games were now much bigger too. There was at least
Yes.
I think 6 or 7 games already came out.
Yeah.
You know, where they kind of took the story, just continued to add more layers to the story, new characters, things like that. In the video games too. So there was a lot of stuff they could easily incorporate into this, web series and show or
Yep.
YouTube stuff. I enjoy the web series. That was my Mortal Kombat content, and I think
I loved it.
my favorite obviously was the Sub-Zero Scorpion story because they really told
Yeah.
you, which you can kind of see them using for the Mortal Kombat 2021 in the opening, with you have Scorpion, Sub-Zero, um, going after each other in their clans and the Lin Kuei and everything like that. The web series really did a phenomenal job, kind of making part one and part two, where part one was kind of you just have this built up with Scorpion and his family, Hanzo, and Sub Zero, and it's just you just have to watch it to really like to feel that this felt like Mortal Kombat. You got this backstory between these two great characters, why
Yeah.
they hate each other, how Quan Chi manipulated some stuff behind the scenes. It's
Right.
just like stuff in the video games,
No, it makes sense.
because I think at that point in time, people were just done talking about Liu Kang. They wanted to focus on other characters like Scorpion and Sub Zero, who were like the two big favorite characters.
Yeah, they became extremely
You know?
very popular, more
Yeah.
than ever. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Liu Kang was still one of the center characters, but really, towards the I think Mortal Kombat 1 and Mortal Kombat X, where they did like a reboot and everything.
Yeah.
They really changed some stuff where Scorpion would slowly become the new good guy with Sub Zero, or try and make them both good guys in some kind of sense, or whatever they were trying to do.
Sense.
You know,
Yeah.
but the Legacy series, we got something like that, which was phenomenal. The actor who played Shang Tsung in the '95 movie came back to reprise his role as Shang Tsung. Trying to think who else was in the show that's memorable that people didn't know was in the show.
I thought like the person also did a great job of the person that played Johnny Cage did a fantastic job also.
Well, Johnny Cage was in I think 2 episodes.
Yeah.
The first one, people were kind of mixed about because he was just they didn't make him like the action superstar. They made him like this action star who played a Power Ranger, which a lot of people were like, "Why is he playing a Power Ranger?" Like, no, he's Jean-Claude Van Damme in this kind of world, And then Casper Van Dam played him in a, played Johnny Cage because I guess I can't remember the web series. Then they kind of brought everybody together at the end.
They honestly we went to after when we got season 1 ended, they did the last one, which was season 2, and you got to see the character of Coast that came back was the original star that played Shang Tsung from the original Mortal Kombat films.
Yeah.
One,
Yeah, but I do remember season 2 being more like Mortal Kombat because they're really kind of adding new layers to it. Like we got a Liu Kang and Kung Lao story, which is phenomenal. There was a 2-part episode in season 2, which is pretty cool. Season 2, they really kind of brought more, made you feel like here's the characters now coming together. This is where we're going with it. Yada 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 type thing, which is pretty cool. It was pretty awesome. Like honestly, it was really for a web series. They did a phenomenal job with it. This felt like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it did.
Maybe some of the best stuff we got since '95, to be honest with you.
Facts.
We can talk about the web series all day and kind of look stuff up. But the first season, I remember it just being an introduction, where season 2 just fleshed out the story. I think we were supposed to get a 3rd season, but we never did.
Nah, it never happened.
I don't remember, but I could have sworn they were trying to get a 3rd season going. I know the person who did the web series. I think they were the same who did that teaser trailer.
Right.
That we were just talking about, where they were trying to get a Mortal Kombat movie to start up again.
Mm-hmm.
But fans were craving them. Us fans wanted another movie. We could talk about some stuff that was in development of hell for a decade, over a decade. I think after Annihilation, some people New Lines were talking about doing a Sub-Zero movie. Robin Show talked about he was still signing off for one more movie, but then said they want to make Sub-Zero the main character now. They don't really need him to come back to play Liu Kang, and there's just so many things they're trying to figure out what to do with the franchise, and they just kind of have it development of hell for almost 20 years. For about 20 years, excuse me. 20 Yeah, 22, 23 years.
Okay.
Yeah, about 23, 24 years before we got another Mortal Kombat movie, which we'll get into now, which
Yeah.
is Mortal Kombat 2021. Um, obviously, when we heard the news, they were going to bring in Cole Young. I know when they announced.
we
Uh,
were we were like, oh boy. Yeah.
well, here's the thing. I know when they announced Louis Tan, a lot of people thought he was playing a Sub-Zero, a Scorpion, or Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, okay, Louis Tan's going to be in this movie. Cool. Like, who's he playing? Is he going to be playing Sub-Zero? That was the biggest thing, was he playing Sub-Zero? Because there was long rumors that this was going to focus on Sub-Zero, not Liu Kang, not any of the other characters, really a focus on Sub-Zero. Obviously, the rumors ended up being true that this was a new character who was an MMA fighter, and he kind of like this new, he was supposed to be like the audience where he kind of learns about this whole world and gets to be part of it. Obviously, that was the biggest criticism, was the fact you introduced a new character that fans just did not care. You had so many other characters that we loved. You could have made them the main character.
Exactly.
You know, were there some stuff that I liked? Yeah, the Scorpion Sub-Zero stuff. Obviously, Hiroki playing Scorpion was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Joe Taslim playing Sub-Zero was pretty cool. Lindy Lin from the Power Rangers movie played Liu Kang. I thought was pretty cool. The stand-ups in the show in this movie was really, the guy who played Kano, Josh Lawson, was really funny in this. He was pretty good.
Yeah.
Lin as Liu Kang was pretty cool. Max Hyung, who played Kung Lao, who was phenomenal. But they killed him off in this fucking movie. It was like, what the fuck? You're killing him off, killing Kano off, you're killing the characters that we kind of liked. The character we did not like, you kept around. It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was just bullshit.
Ten Han playing Shang Tsung, which I was kind of like iffy about. I think you could have cast someone else better.
He was God. He was so like, even so, like, honestly, if he wanted to be Shang Tsung, that's cool. But bro, he was so lazy. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna call it. I bet he's gonna do it. And once he like decided to just go for like Liu Kang's, like, like fucking when he went for like fucking Kung Lao and shit, and it's just like, oh, okay, bro, you're fucking lazy. Like, you decided to just go after Kung Lao that quick, and like, oh wait, he's entering the tournament. I'm like, what tournament? What tournament y'all talking about? That's a tournament? That dirt thing right there is a tournament? Raven's like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't save him. I can't enter the tournament. I'm like, bro, there's no tournament happening.
Nothing happened. There was no tournament. They didn't even have the tournament. The other thing was Cole Young was supposed to be related to Scorpion. That was the other reveal.
Yes. His descendants.
Yeah, his descendants, which you didn't have to do, but they did anyways. I'm like, oh, come on. This was the frustrating part, where you introduce a new character. When you have other characters, you could have really made the main character. And that was the hugest uproar criticism with fans, including myself. It was like, what the fuck? And there's nothing against Louis Tan. I'm sure he's a good actor. I think he could have played. You could have made him Liu Kang. You could have made him Kung Lao. You could have made him Sub-Zero.
You could have made him Quan Chi, but no.
You could have made him anybody in the Mortal Kombat franchise. But you made a character that people to this day just don't like. I mean, he's not even in the video games, even after this movie came out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind him in the video games, so we can just beat the shit out of that character. But there's moments in this movie where you're just like, oh, this is just awful. Where he's trying to bring the Earth Realm characters together and try and be the leader. It's like, it just felt so.
They're trying
cheesy.
So hard to make it. They're trying so hard to have this character shine, and like original OC character of Mortal Kombat. Like, oh, you guys like this, right? No, I fucking don't, bro.
No, we don't. But I'll say there's some good stuff in the show, like in the movie. Like I said, like, I like Kung Lao, I like Kano. I thought Lin played Liu Kang was pretty cool. I do like the opening where you have Scorpion and Sub-Zero fight.
Yeah.
And I like that this felt like a Scorpion story, which, again, you had elements that could have been a Scorpion movie. But at the very end, you have the fight between Scorpion and Sub-Zero, where Sub-Zero is working for Quan. I think it's Quan Chi, or I think it's Shang Tsung, but we know Quan Chi somehow in the background, but they I don't think they reveal Quan Chi in this.
No, of course.
No, I don't think they did. Yeah, so
no, they didn't.
No, but like, you have Sub-Zero working for Shang Tsung, and
Shang Tsung was lazy, bro.
Yeah,
that dude was so lazy.
And then you had Goro fighting by a trailer or something. It just looked so horrible.
Yeah, Beyond looked terrible. Even so, I remember where like Sub Zero doing all these like, oh, I'll do anything you need, Shang Tsung, and I'm like, you lazy motherfucker, bro.
Yeah. So, um, yeah. I mean, enough about the bitch fest. This was a movie that had some potential. They had some really good fight scenes, some good action stuff, some really cool things going on. Jessica McNamee who played Sonya Blade. I thought she was pretty cool. I mean,
I thought
there's
she
a
did.
lot of
Yeah.
there was a lot of good stuff. I mean, yeah, Mashad Brooks, who's known for Jimmy Olsen, Supergirl playing Jax. I thought he was okay. He looked like Jax.
Yeah.
But the problem with this movie, like hardcore fans, like myself, like you,
Same, man.
um, the Cole Young stuff really kind of watered a lot of this movie being actually like a good movie to enjoy. Um,
That is so
you
complicated
know,
about it because I was so excited to watch. I remember when it was, we had the COVID days and everything like that. And like, I watched it on, HBO Max and I was so excited to watch that film. I'm like, let's go. I'm so excited.
I am so happy it was on HBO Max instead of going to
Yeah.
the theaters. It saved us a lot of money. Which, again, I remember like shaking my head, going like,
Yeah.
if they put this in theaters, it would have made at least 300 million.
I was disappointed. Oh, man.
Because this was, I think, the most watched HBO movie on HBO Max the year HBO Max just started.
Yes.
It was it got more people watching. I think, like repeated times, not like first viewing, but just repeated times.
Yeah.
More repeated times than Zack Snyder's Justice League or anything else that came out that year on repetitive because people really like Mortal Kombat.
It's just a fact.
It has a big following, just like Street Fighter, just like any other video game franchise.
Yep.
So let's get into Mortal Kombat 2, which we're all excited for. Obviously, the rumors that this is going to be a movie that's gonna like an apologize movie for the fans. Like, here's your Mortal Kombat movie that you've been waiting for.
Finally, and there's a tournament this time. Yes,
it feels like a tournament. The good news is we're not getting no Cole Young, or at least the last trailer didn't even reference him. I'm pretty sure you and I and a large group of fans are going to watch this movie on Thursday. It's going to give this a standing ovation and a big cheer when we see Cole Young get killed off or just get killed through the sidelines.
Exactly.
Instead of Johnny Cage getting killed, maybe this time it's instead of Shao Kahn killing Johnny Cage, we're going to get Cole Young being killed off.
Yeah.
Again, nothing against Louis Tan. It's just, again, he was put in he agreed to put himself in a situation that no actor wants to be in, where you're being disliked for a character you played. It just goes back to Warner Brothers thing, and this is what the fans wanted. And no, and finally they're listening to the fans, whether it's the studio, the actor, the writer, the director. Someone's listening to the fans and going, no, let's do it this way because this is what the fans want.
Yeah.
They're taking a blueprint from Sony with the Sonic movies.
Like I said,
Or Paramount movies. Sorry, that's
I honestly believe that this is going to make up for this first one, and I'm glad. And
I
expect
it to do.
Yeah. All you got to do is just kill off Cole Young, kill him off.
Yeah, Johnny Cage, and you got Johnny Cage being the central character, which a lot of fans are kind of excited for.
Yeah.
He's a big fan favorite. I'm excited to see what Carl Urban does with Johnny Cage.
I think he's gonna
he is. I mean, he's an actor that who can be in a leading role. I mean, he's obviously killed it in The Boys. He's done a phenomenal job playing Judge Dredd, which I wish they would come up with a sequel for. He was my pick a lifetime ago to play Batman in a live action movie. So he has the acting ability to play Johnny Cage. I'm really excited to see more of what his version of Johnny Cage is going to be. Obviously, they're now putting the elements of the video games that people like. We see Johnny Cage saying Showtime, and they've already teased him doing the shadow kick and punching someone in the nuts, things like that Johnny Cage is known for. His jokes, his quick whims. I'm looking forward to see him and Kano's interactions. We've already got a little tease of that, where Kano's like, "You don't got no powers? Oh, we're fucked."
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I'm excited to see some of the comedy in this. This looks like it's going to be a really fun movie.
It does. It does. They're really going to pull it off.
Yeah. Obviously, there's some story with Quan Chi Resurrection characters like Kung Lao, Kano.
We already know that he's doing it. Yeah.
Probably Scorpion. Which this is how they're going to fix part one, is by bringing back the characters that we like. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have called this Mortal Kombat Resurrection. It's okay to tell us what you're doing with this movie.
It's fine. You just call it Mortal Kombat 2. It's all good.
Yeah. So I'm really excited to see what this movie does. You know, how what it does, what it reveals, and obviously we're gonna get a part three. I do know. I think we're gonna get more outer world, outworld stuff because they're gonna focus more on outworld. We're gonna
Yep.
see our characters go into outworld, Katana's world.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're gonna get the introduction of Katana in this show, in the movie, which I'm excited for. Obviously, I think Melina. I think is Melina back in this one again?
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, she's back in this. Sindel's back in this.
Hmm.
Oro obviously supposed. No, yeah,
A lot
she's
of the
back.
characters are coming back. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's gonna be more about. I think this is gonna be a true number two to the video games. I think.
Yeah. And Edward Boom is also going to make a cameo, which you already seen in the trailers and everything like that.
Which
Yeah.
is pretty cool. It's nice to see they're giving him some kind of nod. Like you did it with Stan Lee, you can do it for
The creator of
Boom.
Mortal Kombat. Yeah.
Yeah, was he the co-creator or the creator?
No, I think he was the co-creator of it. Edward Boom.
Could have
Yeah.
sworn, I could have sworn it was two people, but if there's just
It was
him,
two people. It
yeah.
was two people. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Ed Boon and John Tobias who created
Yep.
Mortal Kombat. Yes, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. Yeah, so for Mortal Kombat 2, obviously we're gonna get the introduction of Katana, Quan Chi, Katana, the introduction of Shao Kahn, who looks fucking great. I can't wait.
I
to
love
see,
his design, bro.
he-
They pulled
he's
it off. That
intimidating,
looks
yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Obviously, we're gonna get Noob Saibot, which I'm excited for. Kung Lao's, I'm looking forward to see what they do with him. Sindel's in it, like I mentioned before. I don't know if Molina's in this one. Molina was in the last one. They didn't really say if she was going to be in this one.
We'll see.
We're gonna get the Barakas. We're gonna get some other cool stuff, which I'm really excited for. Obviously, Louis Tan does make an appearance, but obviously probably gonna be a small one because he's barely in any the trailers or any of the marketing, which I'm excited for. So I'm looking forward to this movie.
Good. Just kill him off and get it over with.
Sam McQuaid, who I think directed the first, he directed the first one, and is coming back to direct the second one, which I'm excited for.
Good.
Clearly, he's listening to the fans and what they want in a Mortal Kombat, which I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah.
Obviously, they brought in a different writer for Mortal Kombat 2. They didn't bring back the same writer from the last one. I'm fine with that. He co-wrote it, Godzilla and Kong, The New Empire. He doesn't really have a great track record of movies that he's written, but he did write one of our favorite TV shows, The Exorcist.
That was a good TV show. I'm surprised that was pulled off. Very well done. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he wrote some Umbrella Academy. So yeah, he knows how to write. He also co-written the Coyote Acme store that's coming out later this year. So
yeah,
I'm looking forward to see what this guy. I'm looking forward to see this movie. I can't wait to see what kind of surprises Mortal Kombat 2 is going to bring and how it connects to a third movie, which they have already announced, greenlit, and they can't wait to bring this out. To bring that out soon, because this movie's going to be a giant hit for next weekend.
True. And I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I was going to also announce this too. Like, also with the Mortal Kombat animated movies, those have also been like pretty decent and everything like that.
Yeah, let's talk about the movies. The Scorpion one, and then the other one that came out after. There's at least I think four Mortal Kombat movies.
There's 4 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, the first two, it's the Scorpion story. The Liu Kang story is the second one. The third one, I think, is Ken.
Yes.
I forgot his name. Ken Rinchi, or whatever his name is. Ken Ronin, whatever his name is. I forgot his name.
Liu Kang story with the tournament and everything like that.
Yeah, this was like a world where like the Earth realm lost.
Yeah. And they're battling Shao Kahn. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Kano was the one who like somehow undermined everybody, and he became like.
Oh, you're talking about the third movie? Yeah, the third one.
Yeah.
You're talking about Kenshi.
Yes, that was the third one. Yep. And then you had the Johnny Cage one that came out after that.
I enjoyed that one. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah.
That was fun. I mean, that's the thing. The thing with those movies, like it really tested the water with fans, and they all did really well because fans ate them up and loved them. So
yeah,
that's why we got another live action Mortal Kombat movies, because the fans like us really like those cartoons, and I'm excited to see part 2. I'm excited to see part 3. I'm excited to see where the franchise goes.
Yeah, I want to give it like I said, I think this film 100% will make up for the first one, and I think they're really going to pull it off.
Yeah, I expect it to. I expect this to be this is my most anticipated movie of the year. just because I'm a big Mortal Kombat fan. I've been waiting for this movie since the last two, and it was supposed to come out last year, and they
Yep.
pushed it back 7 months later. Obviously, I understand why because of how they believed in this movie. They wanted to put in a different release date, make some touch ups onto it. And I'm excited. I can't wait to see this movie in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Any other last thoughts before we close it out?
What I'm honestly looking forward to, of course, is the fatalities and, of course, the fighting scenes. Like I said, character development, storytelling. I honestly think everything is going to be really great about this film. Better than the
Yeah,
first one.
yeah. The first one, obviously, the fatalities was pretty cool. Now, once you, I mean, Kong had some cool stuff. Kano, Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub Zero. They really focused on the fatalities in the last movie. And obviously, that's going to be a big thing in the second movie. I haven't really seen many trailers. I'm just trying to be careful with what I'm watching because I don't want to be spoiled with anything. I just want to go on this and enjoy part two and enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
So that's my final thoughts on this movie. Digital, do you have anything you want to plug in for your channel?
Yeah, I'll be coming out with a video soon on digital entertainment for my second channel, Absolute Batman video. Can't wait for it to be done. It is almost ready to go. And for my original YouTube channel, Digital Overlord, I'll be making a more anime content, and there's a lot more to come, guys. So sorry I've been like occupied and everything like that, but I have two YouTube channels, and I'm juggling a lot of them at once. And the type of editing that is done with these videos, they're hardcore editing. So I'm making sure everything is done correctly, and everything is entertaining.
Yeah. Yes. You can also catch me on the Cool Kids channel with my friends. I think we're gonna do our review on Michael this weekend. Either that, or we're gonna do the Mortal Kombat one, which I'm gonna be hosting. And then I'm sure we're gonna do our review on Mortal Kombat 2 as well over the weekend. So yeah, you can find me on Cool Kids channel. You can also find me on Storm's Nation every Sunday with Rob Storm, the Cool Kids crew. Talking about the stuff that we all like to talk about: movies, comic books, cartoons, TV shows, wrestling. And then I'm on a show called Wrestling Podcast with Austin. Whenever we want to talk about wrestling, whenever he's free to do that, or good old wrestling. That's what the podcast's called.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. And thank you for watching. Y'all have a good night. Later.
Peace.